Hello everyone, my name is Lauren, for those of you that don't know me, and I'm diagnosed on the autism spectrum. I have a high functioning type. I was originally diagnosed with a form of autism that was called pervasive developmental disorder back in 1987 when I was 5 years old. And when Asperger's syndrome came into the diagnostics criteria in the spring of 1994, I was given that diagnosis, and now I just have just plain old high functioning autism. I do make YouTube and TikTok videos about my autism experience in hopes of sharing with others what I've learned and that there is hope. So today's video is on autism and safety. This is a very important one. So let's face it, autistics, no matter what type they have, whether they barely have any symptoms of autism or whether they're severely affected by it, they will always need some degree of support. So autism facts. Number one, wandering off is common in autism. A few times I've done it when I was younger, like if we were to go out to the mall, but back in those days, we didn't have cell phones. Number two, autistics in general are more likely to be the victims of robberies and break-ins because it's confusing to them how to recognize a potential criminal because they're so naive about everything. And why is it confusing to them? Because they have been taught intensely on how to be respectful for other people. Number three, autistic females of all ages are at higher than normal risks for abuse, rape, and murder than normal females are. Now, if any situation causes an autistic person to act worse, they're doing it because they are feared, and fear makes meltdowns worse. So I'm going to keep mentioning my experience with the principal in second grade because I feel like it needs to be said, and it is still a problem with autistics today and it needs to stop. So I was confined in the principal's office at school in second grade for 2 days, and during those 2 days the principal at one point paddled me really hard when I got up and moved around, and the meltdown was starting to get worse. And yeah, it didn't go well, and it left me with fear for several years that if I did something wrong like that, that I would get harshly punished. So here are some other things that I've learned about staying safe with autism for neurotypicals and autistics. Number one, stand up and fight back when needed. Don't worry about social acceptance. And number two, this is one that I've been taught multiple times growing up by everybody that knew and loved me. Call it the old standby. Never open the door for someone you don't know if you are in your home alone. So call a neighbor in this point. Number three, I'm going to say this one for parents of neurotypical and autistic kids. Never leave any kids under a certain age home alone. Number four, I have seen on TikTok how criminals are laying money and other things in places with poisonous substances to get people's attention as a way of weaponizing people. So, recently, I think it was about a couple of months ago, I was out at our local family-owned restaurant, and I parked my car, and I saw somebody's keys laying on the ground, and I didn't pick them up because I didn't know what was on them. So I went in the restaurant and ordered my food, and as I was ordering my food, I told them where I parked and that someone had dropped a set of keys. And it wasn't car keys, it was house keys, by the way. Number five, keep all safety features turned on your phone when you are out in public. And may I also ask the old standby about Facebook and Instagram or whatever. Now, number 6, if you are out in public and you are feeling insecure about a situation, don't worry about being socially acceptable. Act dramatic and have the meltdown. Call 911 and then you find a safe spot. Number 7, policemen need to be aware of what to do when they encounter autistic drivers. I had a few incidents with the police at times, and it was terrifying for me. It took me forever to get over it. Number 8, if you have neighbors that live alone, whether they're autistic or not, please check in on them every once in a while, because anything could happen. So, I don't know how to say this right, but a prime example of this is one of our family friends who was single all of her life passed away, probably a heart attack, I want to say, because she had a lot of health problems, and they didn't know that anything happened to her for the longest time, and someone had went to get her mail, who had been getting her mail frequently, and they went to the door and unlocked it and thought they needed to check on her because she hadn't been getting her mail regular. And that's when they found her. And number 9, I believe it's always a good idea to keep an eye out for autistics of any type. Reason being is because one of my cousins has an autistic daughter, and one point she got on the wrong school bus, and at the time she was fascinated with school buses, and I'm not going to go into detail about it, but it was terrifying, and she was really frustrated with the school district for forgetting about her daughter. But luckily everything was resolved. And when I was in 8th grade, we went on a field trip to Williamsburg, Virginia, and my mom went with me. And on the last day of the trip, we went to Busch Gardens because it was open, and at one point I wandered off because the people that I was hanging with didn't want to ride the roller coasters, and I did, and everybody else that wanted to ride them were excluding me because they didn't understand how to deal with my disability, and they were prejudiced against me, I have to say that. And I ended up getting lost, and for the longest time I was lost in that big park trying to find someone to ride the roller coasters with me. And my mom was with me, and it was terrifying for me too. And I didn't realize that she was terrified. And it wasn't until like almost 20 years later that she admitted that she was terrified when that happened. But back then we didn't have cell phones, and nowadays we do, so that's the good thing about cell phones. But luckily I went to a lost and found station, because that's what I was always taught to do if ever you get lost out in public. And she walked in the lost and found station not even 5 minutes after I got there, and there I was. So number 10, probably one of the most important ones, teach skills in ways that autistic kids can understand and compliment them for what they've learned. And if they encountered a potential danger that they didn't realize was a danger, stay calm and let them know that that was a danger. And if they ever have any questions about anything, that it's okay to ask questions, and make sure you listen to them at all times too. And let them know that you didn't realize that they didn't know that that was a danger. And so in conclusion, safety and health is a lot more important than social acceptance for autistics. All right, guys, make sure to tune in and stay tuned, because there's a lot more autism-themed content coming.